Grizzly Hunter. Book I, The Rain-Soaked Trail. 1 Prologue, Rustles in the Spruce Gloom. Stories about the ghost bear had floated around northwestern Montana ever since Jack was a kid and somebody spiked his tea with bourbon. Huge, too smart for his own fur, raised on unlucky hikers and the smell of gasoline, the beast seemed to toy with people, snapping branches, scattering fish on the landings, vanishing as quietly as a raindrop into moss. So Nick, Max, Eugene, and Jack spent the whole drive laughing it off. Rain's only falling to hide his tracks, right? Come on, Montana tourism at its finest, buy a license, get a legend for free. They had no clue the downpour would last for weeks, or that the rustle in the birches was anything but wind. To a road where the tires play blues. For half a day Jack's Ford and Ted's ancient GMC sloshed along clay roads. A gray curtain of rain turned the world into a windshield-wide secret. Landscape I, Raven Creek Valley. Wet spruce smelled like iodine, the creek below slid by like polished steel. Jagged evergreens formed a dragon spine along the slopes, larches shook yellow tassels in the wind, and purple irises clung to the bog as if begging last year's sun to come back. They chose camp where Lake of the Weeping Cliffs widens the river, a black glass ellipse ringed by fir walls, each summit wearing a hood of fog. 3 Pitching camp, jokes pop like sparks. The tarp went up over 6 tall tales, including 1. Eugene's bar story about a cub that crawled under tables and drank stout straight from the tap. 2. Max imitating the engine of the ghost boat that cruises Buffalo Lake every night with no pilot. 3. Nick reproducing his wife's voice, another fishing rod. Your new rifle costs more than my kitchen. Zarina, the black mastiff, glossy as obsidian, dozed by the fire. Old Ted hauled her close while a tiny fox terrier named Rosie peeked from his jacket pocket. Rosie, make sure they don't swap in store-bought salmon, he told her solemnly. 4th Lake calm and campfire banter. Landscape 2, water mirror. By evening the wind died. The lake became black glass, reflecting sparks and clouds as if someone stirred tar with a silver stick. Thunder Peak poked through the clouds in pink evening light, the forest answered with warm resin scent. With a view like this, Jack sighed, even rain sounds nicer than our boss's voice. They pulled in a few chunky whitefish, roasted coffee in a dented pot, and argued about who'd swim first if the heavens ever quit leaking. Humor bite. Max, what if lightning hits? Then I'll pack my rod and go vote, same level of adrenaline. 5 Night alarm. Lightning cracked at 1 a.m., Zarina sprang up, Rosie barked once. Canvas slapped in the wind. Outside, Ted pieced the night together. Crunch first. Then a splash by the boat. They stepped into rain dust with flashlights. Paw tracks, pan-sized, claws like railroad spikes, marred the sand. Big bear, Nick whispered. And no cartoon version. 6th The game begins. They never saw him, but he saw them. By dawn 2 bait boxes were flattened, the skiff's handle chewed, half the fish gone. He only took the best, Eugene muttered. Nose quality. The grin faded when Max found shredded plastic jugs stinking of fermented bait. He's drawing us in, Jack said. Smart devil. Ted added horror clippings of hikers who'd vanished nearby. 7 Jokes through fear. Second night, rain drummed on the tarp, they drank hot cider and debated whether Beyoncé counts as classical with a tambourine. But by midnight humor dried up. Each lightning flash lit a hulking shadow on the waterline. 8 Zarina vs. the bear. On night 3 the storm traded places with fog, warm as boiler steam. Zarina growled low. Fog split, a black mass glided forward. RRROOUUN. The bear moved slowly, gauging their reaction. Jays screamed, the camp smelled of wet fur and sour berries. Max lunged, Jack yanked him back, she has to hold him. We cover. All sound funneled into chaos, snapping twigs, Ted yelling, "Rosie, heel," flashlights flaring. The bear lashed, Zarina clamped his flank, then he swatted, sending her tumbling. Tiny Rosie launched onto his muzzle like living pepper, nipping his nose. One heartbeat, enough. They couldn't shoot, too many other camps across the lake. The beast vanished into trees, leaving only the stink of fear. 9. Eugene's pit trap. Next morning Eugene dug a spiked trench on an old game trail, covering it with wet brush. "Smart nose will sniff," he said, "but hunger kills manners." Midnight again, splintering wood, monstrous roar. Rush of lanterns, then slow-motion horror, tarp collapsing, mud skidding, Eugene slipping, falling into the pit. Bear and man tumbled together, claws slashed Eugene's thigh. Max screamed, Jack threw belts down, Nick blinded the beast with a beam. Zarina, loose, crashed onto the rim, her weight cracked the edge. The bear recoiled, scrambled out, and melted into darkness. 10. Climbing out. They hauled Eugene up, the wound gapped but bone stayed whole. Ted cinched a tourniquet. "Son, you still owe me bourbon tastings, don't you die on me." Morning smelled of iodine and pine sap while a lone raven on a bloody branch carried rumors down valley. End of Book I. Thumbs up if you believe raptors and wild rivers deserve protection, like, subscribe, and share. Bell turn on notifications so you don't miss the next story in this series. Disclaimer, this is a fictional narrative. No animals were harmed. We support legal, ethical hunting and conservation. Poaching is a crime.